All right, well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Greg Kunzweiler. I'm part of the Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence team. And today we're going to be talking about creating videos for your course. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen out here. And hopefully we're good to go. Let me open up the chat as well. So just so y'all know, if y'all have any questions during the session, just go ahead and plug them in the chat area. And then we'll also be interacting a little bit during it, but I have quite a bit of content to cover, so we'll be kind of going right on through it. And just to let you know too, right after this session, I'll be putting the slide deck up, and the slide deck is going to include quite a few links of things that I'm going to go through today. I want to be able to share out all of the websites and the videos and tutorials and things like that for you all to go back to. Plus, this session is being recorded, and will also be up on our newly developed webinar page. So if you go to our programs and services area and you can click on the webinar category, you'll be able to find information not only on this webinar, but any of the other webinars we've been doing this week. We actually have two additional webinars today. So you can check those out and get registered for those as well. Thank you, Melissa, for posting that website up there. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to be sharing my PowerPoint. I'm going to be bouncing between the PowerPoint and my browser because of what I'm going to have to show you all. But in order to be able to show you correctly, I'm going to have to share the PowerPoint out this way so I can kind of bounce between the two. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to learn today. So I'm going to go over really, start out, why do you want to create a video? Why do you want to create a video for your class? Why is it going to be helpful for your students to be able to have a video into your class? Why do you want to share out some content that you're going to have? And then we're going to go over really 3 different levels. So if you're really just starting out with video, there's several different tools that I'm sure you already have used or are using currently that you may not realize that you can actually create videos with. So I'll be going over those. Then we'll go to the next level. So if you kind of master those and get the hang of those, you can start to dive into some of the more intermediate level tools and tricks that you can do with video. And then I'll end with advanced level. We won't be diving into a couple of the programs I'm going to recommend in advanced level, but I will be sharing out some links of ones that we recommend. And you can also find those on our website as well. And then I'll be sharing all of these resources at the very end for you all to be able to have access to. And what we usually do in CTLE with the webinars is we'll take our PowerPoints, convert them to a PDF and upload them, and so you all can have access to them on the webinar website. So first off, I'm going to start out by doing a quick poll, and it's just a quick question to ask you: have you ever created a video for one or more of your courses? All right, excellent. So I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds and I'll go ahead and end the poll. All right, so let me go ahead and share out the results. It looks like quite a few of you, 13 out of 16 actually said, yes, you have created videos for your courses. Can you share out either in the chat, or you can turn on your microphone, unmute, and share out what are the tools that you might have used, or what are some of the use cases you actually created videos for your students? You can share them in the chat or just unmute. Be interested to, okay, Screencast-O-Matic, good, the screen recording tool. Video camera and just post it on YouTube, absolutely good. Good. YouTube. Use my phone to create a couple videos. Excellent. PowerPoint, Doodly. Some other people said Zoom and PowerPoint. All right, excellent. Good, good. And some of these tools are ones we're actually going to talk about a little bit more today in regards to using them. Padlet and embedded video function. Excellent. Thanks for sharing that. Any other tools? All right, so let's take a look at why would we want to create a video for our course. So there's a whole myriad of reasons why you would want to create video for your course, but here are just a few. So you could just want to introduce a new topic. You know, a lot of times when we're introducing a new topic in class, some of the students might get lost. So you might want to actually just do an introduction video and explain it well. And then that way, you know, you can, what's good about video is once you record it once, then you have it every single semester to be able to use. So you only have to do it once, you share it out. The students can go back in and watch it over and over again until hopefully they actually understand the topic. So that's one reason. You know, if students are struggling to understand the topic, you may want to explain that part. You know, every one of us probably have a couple of sticking points in our course where the students struggle to understand something. And so being able to create a good video to explain that to them so they can go back in and watch it several times possibly is absolutely helpful. You know, you may have an assignment as well that you want to give an overview to. And it's not just written instructions, you can have a video that explains that as well, or maybe just demonstrating an activity for students to complete. You know, if it's detailed instructions for an activity, you may want to show them, especially if it's a hands-on type of activity. You may want to go through and so I saw seems to be fading in and out. Is it my audio that's fading in and out? Is anybody else having trouble hearing that? Does my audio seem to sound good?
It's been pretty
Okay.
constant, Greg. I don't think it's you.
Okay, just want to check and make sure. Nothing like getting into the middle of one of these and then suddenly you start having problems and you don't realize, you just keep talking and glitching up. So demonstrating activity. Another one is to give students feedback. Earlier in the week, Candace and I did a session on giving feedback to students, and there's a way in D2L to be able to give video feedback to the students as well. And then just to be able to record your lecture for students. You know, I know some of us in previous semesters have recorded our lectures and actually put them up somewhere for our students to be able to see. You know, one of the recommendations we do have this semester is being able to set up your Zoom sessions ahead of time before you even walk into your class for the first time. Even if you're teaching face-to-face and all your students are there, have your Zoom session set up and then record the sessions, because then the students can actually go back in and watch it and review your class, review what you said in class. And hopefully that helps them to continue to learn from what you taught in class so far. So those are just a few different reasons for why you would want to create a video in class. So now we're going to start out with the beginner level. And this will take some of the same tools that you all mentioned in class. And I'm sure some of this is going to be familiar for some of these, or for some of you, as far as what you've used or what you've not used. Just using Zoom, using PowerPoint, putting these things and using D2L, or putting some of this stuff in directly into D2L. And I'll show you how to embed a few of these things directly into D2L. But first off, I want to start out by giving you all recommendations for audio and video, because to me, if you're doing video, especially video of yourself, you really want to make sure that you do the best, you know, give them the best quality you possibly can. you know, all of us have, since we've done Zoom thousands of times in the last year and a half or so, have seen good quality and not so good quality. And so here are just a few recommendations to take. You know, make sure you choose a quiet, well-lit environment. You know, like right now, I'm in my office in St. Ed's. I have my door closed, so it's nice and quiet, and it's a well-lit room. And so you can see, right now I'm using a virtual background, but the lighting is pretty good, and it's a quiet spot. And so that's absolutely important. And you can see over even to the right, this picture that's on here. This is a gentleman, and if you check out the video below, we won't watch it today, but it's a really good video on just step-by-step setting up your audio and video. And he even has some tips and tricks on using your cell phone as an option too when you're doing things like Zoom to make it even higher quality. So, but being able to choose a good microphone and a good camera. For some reason, my webcam the last week or so has started messing up on me on my laptop. So I actually went out and grabbed one of our external cameras this morning and hooked it up. So now that's what I'm using here to make it a little bit better quality for my video. But making sure your microphone is good. You know, for us, we use these headphones that are Bluetooth hooked to my laptop. And so I can hear very well, and hopefully the audio quality is pretty well as well. But the microphones usually built in laptops are not very good. And so if you want a good quality audio and video, invest in some sort of microphone and camera, or microphone at least, that you can use. And then just making sure you test your equipment. You know, in Zoom, you can go to the audio area and test to make sure, you know, it records your audio so you can hear how you sound. You can see how you look, you know, and just making sure everything is set up correctly. So those are just a few recommendations for audio and video. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Zoom, and I'm going to go over just a few things about, and most of you probably already know a lot of this, you know, as far as just being able to record to the cloud, which is usually what we recommend. I always recommend it, really, because if you want to later on, you can download it and put it somewhere else. But if you only record locally, then you can't get it up to the cloud, or at least not into Zoom anyway. You could put it somewhere else. So making sure you do that. And every one of these blue ones is a link. So when you get the slide deck, you'll see these and you'll be able to go back and click on them afterward. Obviously, being able to share your screen, you know, if there's demonstrations that you want to do for your students, and I'm sure a lot of you have already done that, just being able to simply share your screen like we're doing today and walk through it, and then being able to record it and send it to your students, you can do that as well. And then I have another one. I don't think I have it turned on right now. It's called a cursor highlighter. It's a little application you can download onto your computer, and then it turns your little arrow into a highlighter that you can actually point to. And you all probably have seen those tutorial videos where somebody has a circular highlighter that shows up and they're pointing to different things. That's what this tool is. And so definitely check out the link for the highlighter tool. So let's go ahead and jump into Zoom first, so I can show you just a couple of things in Zoom. So if you pull up your Zoom online, so stleo.zoom.us, or you just go to Okta and click on Zoom from here, you'll pull this up, and one of the tabs over to the left is recordings. Now you can see all of my cloud recordings. These are all cloud recordings that are here as well. You can actually see we have the Fall Faculty Development Day and some of the other base camps we've previously done. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come over here to our feedback tools webinar, and I'm going to go ahead and click this 6 files, and there's 6 different files that were recorded. You have multiple options for how you want to record in Zoom, and you can see all of them that are here. And so it actually recorded the screen share with the speaker view, just the speaker view, just the screen share, audio only, audio transcript, and the chat file as well are all recorded. And you can go into your settings and turn any one of these on or off, depending on what you decide you want to record. Over to the right, you can see here's where I can actually download it. From here, I could get the link. And if I click here, I can get the link and share that out with my students, or I can just go ahead and delete it if I want to. Once you've done your recording, what you may want to do is do a little bit of editing or just a little bit of cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on the recording, and we're going to pull this up. Now I'm going to make sure it doesn't, I think it's going to start automatically. So now it just stopped me with my eyes. Okay, there we go. That's better. I don't need my eyes closed. So it's very limited on how you can edit in Zoom, but one of the first things sometimes that we do with it, once it's pulled into here, is we go over here to this cut tool, and you can actually hit this part of it here. And what it's going to say is it's not going to affect the original recording, but what it does is it affects what you share out. So if you give your students a link, you could cut the front end and the back end off of a recording. Especially a lot of times once you start recording, you probably didn't start with your lesson right away. There might be small talk going on before, there may be small talk going on afterward, and you don't want that part of it. So this is how you can go ahead and eliminate that. So I'm going to say I got it. And now what it's going to do is it's going to put arrows on either end. So what I want to do is I want to watch part of the video and figure out exactly where I want the cut to be on the front end and the cut to be on the back end. And so let me see if I can just a couple of seconds to here, maybe. And so I've moved that one, and it starts at 4 seconds, and then it ends at 52, and I could slide this one over to wherever I want. Once I'm happy with that, I'll go ahead and hit save. And then what it did is now it's going to start at the 4-second mark. And when I share this video out to my students, it's going to start at 4 seconds. It's not going to start at the very beginning. And so this is a quick way to cut it from the front end or the back end, and then be able to share the link out with your students from there. So that is really how to just edit in Zoom or within Zoom. So now let's dive back into our PowerPoint. And the next part is being able to use what's called the PowerPoint virtual background. If you have a fairly new version of PowerPoint, you'll be able to use this option. And so up here, you can actually see when you go to share, there's a basic and an advanced tab. Most of the time you just go to your basic tab and you click share screen or share application. If you didn't realize, there's an advanced tab up at the top. And once you click the advanced tab, you'll actually have this option called PowerPoint as a virtual background. Now, what you'll have to have access to is the file of your PowerPoint. Once you select that file, it's going to download it, and then it's going to start it automatically. And you can see, I won't do it right now since I'm sharing the screen differently, but what it does is it automatically takes your PowerPoint, makes it full screen in here, and then it superimposes you over here on it. And I could resize myself. I could move myself anywhere I wanted onto the screen. You all have seen those tutorial videos where the person is usually just like this. They are in the bottom right-hand corner or whatever, showing up, talking through their PowerPoint. That's exactly what they're doing. And so if they used Zoom, this is what they would be doing. So that's the PowerPoint virtual background. And this link here will actually go to the Zoom website to show you exactly how to do it. And that works pretty cool. So now let's go ahead and jump into PowerPoint. And so this is the reason why I had my PowerPoint pulled up this way, because I want to go through a couple of options for being able to use PowerPoint. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is you can actually record your PowerPoint. So a lot of us have PowerPoints, lectures that we go through with class, with our class. We pull them up when we get to our class. We walk step by step through each slide. lecturing right on through it. With this tool, you could do the same thing and go ahead and record your lecture right from here. So let me go ahead and demonstrate. You got to make sure you're on a fairly new version of PowerPoint, and I can't remember exactly the version that has this, but you'll go to recording. And then once you go to recording, you're going to see a few different options. And so the first one is record slideshow, and I'll show you that one in just a minute. And that's for bringing over to record. You could add a Microsoft form to it. You could do a screenshot from somewhere and put it directly into your PowerPoint. You could do a screen recording. So a lot of people don't realize that you could actually record your screen. So if you had a browser and you wanted to walk through something, I could record the screen and step by step. And what it does is it puts the video right onto the slide. And then if you record the entire slide deck, it will automatically play that video. So you don't have to necessarily even stay within PowerPoint to record. You can record something that you're doing in a browser or using another application, put the video directly embedded into the PowerPoint. And then if you record the entire slide deck as a video, it automatically plays through that video. So it's a great tip to be able to record and put something else superimposed into your actual PowerPoint. And then in a minute, we'll go over just being able to export it, and I'll actually show you Microsoft Stream and how there are some other faculty members that are using this to record their lectures, putting them in Stream and being able to embed them into D2L. And I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's show you how to, let's say we have our slide deck. We have 14 slides here, and I'm going to go through each one. What I would do is I'd go up here to, let's say I want to start from the beginning. Actually, I'll just start from this current slide. So what it's going to do, and let me see if I can switch. Always displays it differently. All right, hold on just a second and let me see if I can switch what screen I'm sharing here. Okay, now let's try that again, and hopefully that works. All right, can everyone see my screen now with PowerPoint and recording? Okay, perfect. All right, so this is the screen that's going to pop up. It's going to show you your slide right here. You're going to have a few different options up here for settings, just making sure the correct microphone is set. You can see I have several different options. This is the microphone I want to use for recording. And then this is I'll use this camera for it here. Actually, it's not going to be able to use it because Zoom's using it right now. So I would select the correct camera as well on here. So now once I have this set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit record, and it's going to say 3, 2, 1. And now I can start to talk through this slide. Whatever I want to say, I can start to talk through it. And once I'm happy, I'll go ahead and hit stop. And what I usually do is go ahead and hit replay, make sure it sounds good. It's exactly what I wanted. And then once you're good, that slide has its recording. The great part about using PowerPoint this way to record is you only have to record one slide at a time. It's really difficult if you have like a really long video and you've done really good at recording, and all of a sudden you get to a spot where you just messed up several times and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. And so you end up having to re-record the whole entire thing. This way, you can record each slide separately, and once you're done, it stitches it all together, and you can put it all into one PowerPoint. And so once you're happy with it, with this one, let me move some video out of the way. I can go on to the next slide. I could do the same thing, go ahead and hit record mine. One of the features too that I love as well is there's a couple tools down below. We have a laser pointer, and so if I'm talking and I'm explaining something, I could use this laser pointer and it literally will show this during the video. So that's a great feature as well. Or I could use even one of the pen tools. And so let me click on one of the pen tools. And then I could even circle things while I'm talking. So these are a couple of great features to use during your recording that allow for the eye, the student's eye to say, okay, you know what, I need to be looking here when the instructor's talking through it. So once you're happy with this, now we're going to go ahead and just say, oh, and one other feature too is down here, I could actually turn my camera on. Oh, it's already been used. What it normally does is it puts your camera down in the bottom corner here. So if you wanted to record with your camera on, you could put yourself somewhere on the screen and be talking through it as well. So once we're happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And now let me go ahead and reshare to my other one. So now y'all should be seeing back onto the PowerPoint. And once we are happy with what we have, then what we can do is you have two different options. You can export it to a video and just have the video regular, which is right here. So I could create a video, full length HD video, and I could go ahead and create it and save it. That's high quality. It also uses the timings and narration that goes through here as well. Or what I recommend is going here to publish to stream. And I'm going to show you stream in just a minute to be able to walk through that. But what you do is you can go ahead and Microsoft Stream is basically Office 365's version of YouTube, only it's internal. So only students and faculty and staff at St. Leo can actually view your videos here. And I know several instructors that have created their own stream channel, and they've put all of their lectures in there. Like Cheryl Cozina is one example that did quite a few of her videos. She put them into stream and then shared them out with her students from there. And I'll show you in just a minute how you can actually embed those directly into your D2L course shell, so then your students can access it from there. So what I usually recommend is allow everyone in your organization to see it. And that way your students can have access to it right away. Hit publish, and depending on how long the video is, once it's finished, it usually emails you and tells you that it's finished. So now let me go up to stream, and I will show you, once we've done that, then what it will show is your videos. So this is Microsoft Stream. And so if you go to Office 365, let me show you this real quick. So usually you click this, for some reason mine's not doing it, and we go to Microsoft Stream. And once you're in Stream, this is the home screen that will show up right here. And so you can see any channels that I'm a part of or ones that other people have been a part of, and you can see actually some instructor stuff is showing up here as well. So what I'll do is I'll go to my content and I'll click on the videos, and that video that I just uploaded from PowerPoint will actually show up here. And so you can see here's where the recording showed up for Fall Faculty Development Day. I actually just put it right into here. And then once you're here, I can go up to the video and I can go ahead and watch it from here. The great part about this as well is it actually automatically transcribes it. And so you get a transcription that shows up here as well. And so your students can access it. I could go down here to share, and I could share the link directly to my students. Or what I can do even better is I could go ahead and go up to embed, and I could embed this directly into D2L. And I will show you that in just a minute. So let me go ahead. Actually, let me copy that first before I finished. So I'd copy that. But let me go back to the videos. So what I recommend faculty do with Microsoft Stream is go to what's called the channels section and click here on channels. And then what I recommend doing is creating a new channel, whether you want to create the channel for just you, or if you want to, what I've seen some instructors do is they've created it and said, you know, like I teach SLU 125. So I might go, you know, SLU 125 - Kunzweiler or whatever. And I would put that there. So anybody that goes in there, especially my students, they would know, okay, you know what, that's where my instructor is. That's the course that I need to go to actually see the videos that I want. And so once you create the channel, then like we have a CTLE channel, then you can start to add your videos into here. The great part about this too is then you can share the whole entire channel out with your students, or you can embed the entire channel into D2L, and then your students have access to all of your videos and not just one at a time type of thing. So I can go up here to, let's see. So I have the channel. I can go to these three dots here. Once I have my channel, and I can go to share, and it's the same thing. I could share the link with my students, or I could do an embed code and put the entire channel into D2L. And so that's actually what we're going to do. So I'm going to copy this. I'll just go ahead and copy it. I'm going to bounce over to my D2L, and you can see I'm in the content area in D2L. And I'm under week 1 right now. And so what I would want to do is add this, and you can see I've already added it once here, but I'm going to add this again as a content item. So I'll go up here to new, and I'm going to go right here to video or audio and select this. And then once this pulls up, you can enter a URL. So if you had just a YouTube video you wanted to share out or something like that, you could do that. Or if you want to embed the entire thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this right here. And then once we're going to be done, I'm going to go ahead and hit preview. And then it should show up down below. And so now all of a sudden you can see right here, if the students click on it, and as long as they're logged in to Okta, they'll be able to see these videos showing up. And if it doesn't show up, then they'll just need to be prompted to make sure they log into their Office 365 account. But it's all embedded directly into D2L, and you could give it whatever title you want and just say, you know, SLU 125 lecture videos or something like that. And so the students know that's where I need to go in my D2L course shell to go watch the videos that are directly in here. I could do one at a time or do the entire channel and post it in here. Once you hit save, so I don't think, Melinda, that the modem has to do with, oh, here, let me put this in here. I don't think that it will have to do with when we went back to PowerPoint and I went and I added it to stream. That could take a little while, depending on your internet connection. So if you have a really fast internet connection, it'll go quicker. If you have a slower internet connection, it would go a little bit slower. So that could make a difference to how fast it takes to actually get onto Microsoft Stream before you actually, before you can actually see it. Usually what I tell people is just, especially if it's a longer video, go ahead and do it. Go do something else for a while, and then it should notify you in your email when it's finished. Don't expect it to just be done, you know, in a few minutes. It's kind of like doing a recording in Zoom. It can take a little while to render it before they'll finally send you the link and say, okay, your recording's ready. Now you can go view it. All right, so that is Microsoft Stream and being able to take your PowerPoints.
Greg. Hi, it's Melissa. Just a quick question from the chat. I wanted to draw your attention to the difference between the desktop version of PowerPoint compared to the online, because in the online version, we know sometimes not all the features are there. So there were questions about how to move between the online version of PowerPoint and then the desktop version of PowerPoint.
All right, great question. Thanks, Melissa. So in the desktop version, you are going to have access to these recording features versus in the online version, you don't have access to the recording features. So usually if ease of use of being able to edit your slides and do things like that in the online version, or if you're sharing it with somebody and maybe you and a colleague or somebody else is working on it together, the online version makes sense to be able to use. But when you decide you want to actually do the recording piece of it, I highly recommend using the desktop version. And if you end up having issues finding the recording feature, just reach out to myself or one of us on the team, and we can help you. If your version is extremely old, then what we do is we recommend you go to IT and have them help you uninstall the old version and reinstall the new version on there as well, because that some of you probably have like 2016 or maybe even earlier as far as a version goes with Office 365. So the desktop version, Fern, if you go to, let me see if I can, if you go to your account, but this is why I'll really recommend you going to IT to help you do this, because you don't want to have two versions of Office 365 on your computer. You need one completely uninstalled fully before you reinstall and add a new one. But everyone at the university has access to Office 365 on up to 5 devices. And from here, you can actually, let me see here. From here, you can actually go to, and now it's giving me issues here. Maybe go to the main. Okay, here we go. So from here, if you decide you want to get a newer version of Office 365 or the newest version, this is where you would go to do it once it's finished loading here. This install Office version. But like I said, I would recommend going through IT. What they can do is they can come into your computer virtually and help you do it. And so you just say, I want to make sure I put the newest version of Office 365 on mine in a help ticket, and then they should reach out to you and do that as well. But that way you don't end up with two versions. So that's where you actually get the newest version, is right here.
Greg, the question wasn't about the newest version. I have that, but that's online. If the features don't exist on the online version, how do you get the desktop version where you can do the recording you just described? That's what's confusing.
Well, this is where you get the newest version, because what you're doing is you're installing the desktop version here. So from this install Office, that installs the full desktop version of Office 365, including PowerPoint, Microsoft, Excel, OneNote, that sort of thing. So that's where you get the desktop version, is here. I just want to make sure I preface this with making sure you have your old version completely uninstalled before the new version goes on, because you don't want to have duplicates. For one thing, it takes up a lot of hard drive space, and then it could be confusing on the computer.
Right, just so you know, I did that with IT a few weeks ago, and I still don't have the recording feature as an option. So I just checked again. So I'll check with them again, but there's a disconnect somewhere.
Well, reach out to me afterward, and I'll show you how to turn that on. I'll have to poke around a little bit to remember exactly where it's at. But if you have this up, there's actually, if you end up, and I'm not going to go through it right now, you go through your different ribbons and you can add new things on here as far as options go. And I'll have to show you afterward exactly where to find it, because I can't totally remember where it's at. And so it'll take me a couple minutes to poke around. So, all right, well, great questions though. All right, so let's see here. All right, so we have a couple different options in Stream. So I'm actually going to go back to Stream again. One of them is adding questions directly embedded into the video. And I'll show you one example of when we did our APHIS training, the assignments training. I can't remember what it was called, APHIS training. We actually embedded a couple of different questions directly into the video within Stream. And then I already shared with you about screen sharing in PowerPoint, but let me bounce back into Microsoft Stream. And so we have our key assignments and rubric training that I'm sure a lot of you already have done. Maybe some of you did the live version, some of you might have watched the video, but this was uploaded by Karen. And what she actually did, once she had the video in Microsoft Stream, she added what's called interactivity. And so here's where you can actually go in and using Microsoft Forms, which is basically a survey tool, you can embed these questions directly at spots in your video if you want to get the instructors to get your students to answer the questions. And so you can see at minute 25:44, there's this particular thing that prompts up or pops up in the video, and it stops for a second. It prompts you to answer the question. And then once you answer the question, it moves on to the next step or the next part of the video. And so you can see right here, they had a couple of questions that they were asking. Once they ask them, you go ahead and hit submit, and then it continues on with the video. So this way you can embed some interactivity into your videos right into Microsoft Stream. And that's one option of being able to add some interactivity. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you another tool called Edpuzzle that allows you to do something similar as well into your videos. So let me make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be on my PowerPoint. All right, so the next one is Edpuzzle. And so this is a great tool. You can sign up for a free account. With your free account, you can get up to 20 videos for free. Basically what it is you're taking your videos that you have uploaded and you're adding some interactivity, whether you're adding additional notes that prompt them or open-ended or multiple choice questions that you want to embed into the video, and then allow the students to watch those and put those together. And so let me share out Edpuzzle real quick so y'all can see that one. So I have my Edpuzzle account opened up, and once I opened it up, I went ahead and went to my content here. So these are 4 videos right now that I have some sort of Edpuzzle interactivity content that goes along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this one here. This was a base camp that Learning had Design did with us. And so make sure it doesn't start. So you can see here's the video, and you could play it all the way through, but you can see there's different points in the video where there's some sort of interactivity that goes on, where it pauses the video and gets the students to either read something or do something in the video. So if I click on this one, you'll see when it gets to this point, it's going to stop. And now you can see there's a multiple choice question over here. And this is just one I did real quickly. So I just said A or B, and you click the right one. I'll go ahead and click B and hit submit. And then, oh, I got it right, good. And now I'm ready to continue on with the video. So I added that kind of question to it. Now we'll go to the next one. I think it's just a note that pops up. So if I wanted just to pause the video and reiterate something that's going on in the video, I could pop it up and just put a quick note in here. The great part about notes, and I'll show you on the next one, is you could add a link, additional links to it, or you could add images as well to go along with it. So let's go ahead and hit skip, and we'll skip this one. And then we'll go to the third one. So this one's a note as well, but I also added a link to it, and I just added an image here as well. So with these videos, you can not only take something that just is, you know, set and get kind of thing, but you're actually getting the students to do something with your videos. You know, you're quizzing them or just trying to find out, you know, if they understand certain things during the video. The great part about this too is you can set up your class and get your students to, so you kind of know who the students are and what they're looking at as well. But you can indirectly embed these as well into D2L. So that's Edpuzzle. So I highly recommend, you know, trying out Edpuzzle once you have some of your videos put together. So let's go back to the PowerPoint, and the last part is the advanced level. So I kind of went through beginner level using just PowerPoint basically for recording your slides, or using Zoom to record, putting them up into Microsoft Stream. Then we went through being able to add some interactivity, whether you use Microsoft Stream combined with Microsoft Forms to add some questions to your videos. You can do that as well, or using the other tool that I just showed you, which is Edpuzzle, which is a great tool to be able to add some interactivity to your videos as well. So those are some great features to add some interactive video. But then if you're ready to take it to the next level and really start to make some more creative videos, if you want to, with some additional features, then these are some of the tools that I recommend. And so the first one is just Windows Video Editor. And if you're using Windows 10, you should just be able to type in Windows Video Editor down into the bottom. And I think if I just type in video, let's see, Video Editor, you can see right here, it pops up. And so that's the Windows Video Editor tool. With a MacBook, I think that OpenShots and one or both of the other tools, these other tools, I think there's a Mac version, but I'm not sure. I know Mac comes with its own version, which I am totally drawing a blank now with the Mac version of their video editing tool is built into theirs, which I've seen is pretty good too. So that's kind of equivalent to Windows Video Editor. Yeah, iMovie. Yep, exactly. So that's kind of equivalent, and maybe even a little bit better than the Windows Video Editor. But if you're starting out, you may want to try this out, because all you have to do is just put your video in, and then you can cut it up if you want to. You can add some special effects to it, or put some music to it and that sort of thing. So if you want to spice up your videos a little bit, Windows Video Editor is a good starting tool. But kind of the next level of it is what's called OpenShot Video Editor. And this is an open source video editing tool that you can use to edit your videos. So once you've done your video and you have your file on your computer, then you can open up OpenShots and start to edit your video. You can add some different transitions. You could add music, be able to add a few other different features that goes along with it. So that's a great tool as well. And they have some really good video tutorials. So they have a YouTube channel, and there's a ton of video tutorials on how to use it from basic to intermediate to advanced. And so definitely check out the tool as well. And I've used it a few times and it works pretty well. And if for free, it's good. So if it's free, it's for me. And that's always a good thing. And so the next tool is VSDC, which is a little bit more advanced than OpenShots, but it's still an open source video editing tool. They have a lot of great tutorials as well. I always like to find tools that have some really good video tutorials that go along with it to really help you teach you how to use it and use it properly. So those are 3 different tools as well. Another one that we use, we have a subscription to, but I know there's a free version to Canva as well. And you can do image editing, but they also have some video editing pieces in there as well. And I'll try to add that before I upload this slideshow to it as well. So those are some of the more advanced tools. Won't go into those because there's a whole lot that goes along with these different tools, and that'd be a whole nother session. But definitely, once you feel comfortable with the other stuff, just start to check out some of these, and plug in one of your videos and just start to edit, play around with it and pull things around and practice transitions or adding some music and things like that. And check out the tutorials that go along with it. And then lastly is just some additional resources. So here's just a couple of, one's an article and a couple of them are different videos on just, here's one that was a study that found that video boosts learning. And so that's an interesting study. I think it was done, I think it was a school in Australia, but they had a pretty good amount of students that they were, that was in the study. And so just showing how video boosted learning. But then here are a couple other videos that show you just kind of low budget green screen options, on being able to use it. So, you can go out and as simple as just buying a green poster board or buying a green, go to the dollar store and buy one of those green tablecloths, like a neon green tablecloth, and tape it to your wall and then video yourself. You'll be able to actually green screen yourself that way. As long as you have the lighting just right, it's good. But these are good videos that show you exactly how to do some of the green screening effects. But OpenShot, here's a video that shows you how to, once you filmed it with your green screen, then it shows you how to edit the video to properly put the background in there, or video background. So, all right, well, I know that was a ton of stuff, but do I have any questions about any of what we covered? Yeah, it's a lot, and that's why I really try to break it down into like levels. So you can say, okay, you know what, I want to start at this level, and then maybe I can move up to this level. But hopefully there's a little bit of, a few pieces there that you can kind of grab a hold of and start to put your stuff together. One other feature that I did want to show, I didn't show this real quick in D2L, is, and I think we talked about this before, in D2L, if you go to your assignments, so let's say you want to grade an assignment, and you want to use video for that. So I can see I have assignments here. I'll go ahead and go to this new submission right here under assignments. One of the options over here to the right is record a video. And so I can go ahead and record the video and put it directly into my feedback. And so that's a great way to do, to add video to your courses to give your students feedback. You can do the same thing even in the discussion area. So a lot of times, we have our discussion boards and usually we just type out responses. You could actually record a quick video, embed it directly into the discussion post, and give the student feedback that way as well, if you don't want to just type out text. All right, any other questions? You could send them the link. So, depending on what it's in. So if you're in here, let me find one of the videos. So if I'm in Microsoft Stream, the only thing that you need to make sure you let your students know from day one, with Microsoft Stream, they have to be logged into their Office 365 account in order to see it. So that's why usually they'll go into Okta and they sign into Okta. And then they click on Office 365. And once they're logged into Office 365, then they'll be able to see the Microsoft stream. And if they can't see it, it's because they're not authenticated in, and it should prompt them to automatically log into their St. Leo account, and then they'll be able to view the video. But the videos are behind the wall. If you wanted the students to see that without it, then you may want to create like a YouTube channel and then start to put your videos in there, and then you can share them out that way as well. So it's up to you on where you want to put your videos. I didn't show you today on YouTube, but like for our team, you know, we have a YouTube channel, and most of our webinars and things like that actually end up in our CTLE YouTube channel. So it's available for anybody. They don't have to authenticate into our system to see it. So this recording will be available on our webinar channel, or our webinar website, I should say. And then it'll eventually be available on our CTLE YouTube channel. And so I highly recommend if we can find that as well and post that in the channel, or somebody wants to post the link to our YouTube channel, just subscribing to that and clicking, you know, just like all the other YouTube channel guys, you know, click your bell icon and make sure you subscribe and that sort of thing. So do that, and that way, whenever we post a new video, you'll actually see it from the CTLE. Any other questions? I'm going to stop sharing, and I'll go ahead and stop the recording.